Good morning Year 4 and welcome to Monday's maths lesson. This lesson is going to be for the children who have got the Year 4 booklet. So if your booklet has Year 4 at the beginning, then this video is for you. Now I'd like you to turn to page 11 in your booklets, and today we're going to be continuing with subtracting what we were doing on Friday. So this is the page that I want us to be looking at today, and you can see that on section 1 it says that we need to fill in the missing numbers to make the sentence correct. So what I've done on my whiteboard is question A, I've written it out so it's a little bit bigger for us to see. So this is what it says on section 1 on question A. And you've got a number with missing parts to it, and we need to complete this number sentence so it makes sense. Now remember, today is subtracting, so that's the rule that we are going to be following, and we need to work out each column for it to make sense and for it to be complete. So we're going to start with our ones column. We've got 4, subtract something equals 2. So if I've got 4, there's my 4, and I subtract something and it leaves me with 2, there's my 2. How many did I take down? I took 2 down. So my missing number for this box would be 2. And you can see that that makes sense. 4 subtract 2 equals 2. So now we're going to move on to the tens column, and you can see in the top box that we haven't got a number to start off with like we did before. It's going to be something, which we don't know, some number, minus 5 equals 1. Now we need to work out what that missing number is, and to do that I'm going to use the inverse. So I'm going to swap and I'm going to turn to addition. So 1 add 5 will give me this number, and then we can double check it at the end. So we know that 1 add 5 or 5 add 1 is 6. Now because I've done the inverse, I want to just double check that I've got that right. So I've got 6, I subtract 5 equals 1. Yes, that's correct. So the inverse has worked. So if you need to use and swap to addition, then that's fine as well. Moving on to the hundreds column, 9 subtract something equals 6. I'm going to use a different method this time. I'm going to use counting on. So I'm going to use 6 in my head, and I'm going to count on to 9. And that should give me my number for my box. So I've got 6 in my head, 7, 8, 9. How many more did I need? 1, 2, 3. So 3 is going to go here. Now because I've used a different method, I've used the counting on method, I want us to just double check that that does make sense. So I've got 9 and I need to subtract 3. I'll check with my fingers. So I've got 9 here and I want to subtract 3. 1, 2, 3. How many have I got left? Well, I've got 5 and 6. So 9 subtract the 3 equals 6. And then finally onto my last column, this would be the normal method that you would use because you need to always work out what goes here. We've got our two numbers, we've got 8 and we need to subtract 3. So you could use either of these methods. You could have 8 fingers and take away 3, or you could count on from 3 to get to 8. So I've got 3 in my head, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. How many more did I need? 5. So I'm going to write that down on my whiteboard. And you can see that now I've completed all of the missing numbers. So let's have a look at what this number sentence says. 8,964. Subtract 3,352. Got our equal sign, equals 5,612. Okay, so you can see that we've done the question A together. Now there is another one for you to do. You can use the inverse method, you can use counting back, or you can use counting on. It's whichever method you prefer. So I want you to complete section B, and you can also fill out section A because we've just done that together. When you're ready to come back, we're going to move on to section 2 of your learning for today. Okay, so hopefully we've filled out all of our missing boxes for the number sentences, and we're moving on to section 2 of our learning today. Now you can see these are just a range of column subtraction questions They're already written out for you, but you need to figure out the answers for them. So I've written down on a whiteboard A, and we're going to do that together. So you can see that I've just blown it up so it's bigger so we can see it more. We've got 8,259. We are subtracting 5,780. And I've got my equal sign there ready. So I'm going to start off with 9 subtract 0. I'm taking nothing away from 9, so it stays as 9. Okay, now I've got 5 take away 8. There is a problem here. Let's say we have 5 pens and I want 8 of them. Well, actually, I haven't got enough to take away. So we need to go on to our exchanging method that we were doing last week. So we knock on next door and we borrow, we exchange that for 800. So that goes there. So my 5 turns to 15 and my 2 turns to a 1. Now I've got more numbers in this column to subtract. So I've got 15 and I'm going to subtract 8. Now it's whichever method you prefer to do. You could use the counting on method, so 8 in your head, and you're going to count up until you get to 15. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. How many did I need altogether? So I've got 5, 6, 7. I'm going to write that down. So 15 subtract 8 equals 7. Okay, so now I did cross off an exchange. So I've no longer got a 2 in this column. It's now a 1. So I've got 1 take away 7. And I've got the same problem again. I need a bigger value on top for it to work. So I'm going to have to knock on next door and exchange. So my 8, what does it turn to? A 7. And then my 1 turns to 11. Now I've got a bigger value on top this time. So you can see I've got 11 and I'm going to take away 7. So 7, counting on, you can use that method. So 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. How many more did I need? 1, 2, 3, 4. And then finally, just to double check, yes, we have got a bigger value on top. So it's 7, subtract the 5, which is 2. And there we have done our first one for A. Now you are going to do B, C and D yourselves. Remember, if there is a smaller value on top, then you do need to exchange on the next place value across, and you may need to do that twice if they've both got lower values at the top. So you're going to do A, we've done A, sorry, you're going to do B, C and D on your own, and then when you're ready to come back, you're going to play the video ready to go on to section 3 of our learning today. Okay, so section 3, we've got 3 word problems for us to have a look at. I'm going to have a look at A with you. I'm going to show you how we pull the information out and we understand what we need to actually do to get the right answer. After that, you're going to have a go at B and C yourself. So I want us to have a look at A here. A says that Troy has a jug that holds 2,500 millilitres. He puts 1,012 millilitres of water in it. He adds 150 millilitres of juice. How much more liquid can he put in? Now that is a lot of information that's just been given to you. So first of all, what I've done to help me is I've done this. So I've got a jug and the capacity that it can hold, its full capacity is 2,500 millilitres. So Troy's jug could hold 2,500 millilitres. Now it said that he put in 1,012 millilitres of water. So I've put that here. I've just noticed that I've forgotten to put my L because that actually says 1,012 metres. I need to put my L in to show the right unit of measurement, that it's ml, millilitres. And then after that, it did say that he added 150 millilitres of juice. So first of all, what I'm going to do is work out this, because those two amounts need to be added together. So it was 1,012 add 150, and I can do that with my column addition, because you are adding the two together. You can see there I'm adding the two together. So on my whiteboard, I'm going to do it here. I've got 1,112. I'm going to add 150 equals sign. Okay, 2 add 0 is 2. 1 add 5 is 6. 0 add 1 is 1. And 1 add nothing is 1. So my total amount is 1,162. So I've worked that out. I'm going to put that here. It was 1,162 millilitres. Okay, so the next part of the the word sentence, sorry, says how much more liquid can he put in? If he's got these two amounts in there already, how much more can he put in? And to do that, what we need to do is get the full capacity, which is 2,500 millilitres, and we need to subtract how much is in there already, and that will tell us how much is left, because we are probably here, and that's not to the full capacity. We could get up to here. So how much more is this part? So I'm going to do that column subtraction now. So I've got 2,500 millilitres subtract 1,162. Let's do that on the whiteboard again. So you've got 2,500 and you're going to subtract 1,162 and equals sign. Okay, I'm just going to move this way. It's easier for me to write. So I've got 0, take away 2. I've got a smaller value on top, so I need to go and exchange next door. But I've got a problem because that's also a 0. So I go to my next place value, which is on a 500. So I'm going to exchange. My 5 turns to a 4. My 0 turns to a 10. Looking back at the ones column now, I've got 0 take away 2. I can't do it still, but I can now exchange from next door. So my 10 turns to a 9 and my 0 turns to a 1. So it's going to be 10 take away 2, which we know is 8. I've got 9 take away 6. I can do that because the value is higher on top. So 9 take away 6. And I've got 4 take away 1 and 2 take away 1. Okay, so I've got 1,338. That is how many more millilitres I can fit in. That is my missing amount that I don't know. Now, the end of the word problem says how much more liquid can he put in? Well, this is how much more. It's 1,338. But please do remember that if there is a unit of measurement, I know the next one is measured in grams, I need you to put the unit of measurement at the end. So, for example, you're not just going to put 1,338. You'll put 1,338 ml, standing for your unit of measurement, millilitres. So if it does help, you can circle some of the key information, or on a whiteboard, these are just little notes that I've made myself, just to break up the question a little bit more. This was a two-step problem, and it wasn't just subtraction that I was using. I did have to use addition. I needed to add these two amounts together and then take it off the original capacity that it could hold. So I want you to read the question carefully, circle any information that you think is going to be really important, and also make sure you know which operation or which method you need to use. I needed to use addition and then subtraction as well. And finally, just before I do leave you, please do use the correct unit of measurement. So for B, I would like you to have the little g at the end of your answer to show you that it's in grams. Okay, everybody, if you need any more help or support, you can always email the Year 4 email address. Other than that, we look forward to seeing all of your work and providing you with some feedback. Good luck, everybody.